All right, back with you tonight, and thanks for staying on. Going back to one of our top stories, the IEB matric class of 2022 has recorded an overall pass rate of 98.42%. The pass rate is slightly higher compared to the 98.39% achieved in 2021. Here to unpack the incredible feat, we are now joined by Lebogang Montjane, Executive Director of Independent Schools Association of Southern Africa. Lebogang, good to have you with us, and thank you very much for your time. I'm sure quite elated at those results. What goes into good results like that? What is required for this kind of outcome?
I think that really what is required is a really sound pre-primary educational system, and making sure that children have had an opportunity to be ready for school readiness. I think that we all too often think that it actually is about the grit, but it really, which is part of it, and it's very important. But really, in order for us to continue to consistently produce these types of results, is that we are correctly looking at pre-primary education in South Africa. And I think that many of the children who are in IEB schools had a very sound pre-primary education.
And I'm sure where you are sitting, yes, the numbers are good, the results are remarkable, but even so, 2022 had some challenges. What are the challenges that were faced by the class of 2022?
The greatest challenge, and I think, by the way, congratulations to them, and congratulations to those students who are going to be hearing their results in a few hours as well. What really were the great challenges, as we say at Thabo, was COVID. So really, they are an extraordinary collection of young people with extraordinary educators, because really, once we went on to COVID, education was delivered in a very different way. And because of that, they must be commended. They've shown flexibility, adaptability, and I'm sure that is going to stand them in good stead as they go on for further education.
Adaptability and shown some grit and some perseverance, and they've succeeded. But I suppose in the process, even the education system itself has had to undergo an overhaul. What's the new reality going forward?
Thankfully, I think that we are post-COVID, but I think that we must always, as a nation, go back to what we have learned and where we saw our shortcomings. I think we at Isasa are really concerned about the fact that when we had COVID, we have approximately 24,000 schools in South Africa. Of the 3,000 did not have either electricity or ablution facilities. So we as a nation need to make sure that we go out there and close that infrastructure backlog, so that actually we put those kids to increase life chances of children. But also, I think that, Thabo, I really must commend the Minister and President Ramaphosa, as well as President Montjane, because he was really vigorous from this. Until last year, Thabo, we always thought of pre-primary education as social development. We now understand that from birth to 6 years old is one of the most important years to prepare young people for sound educational and life outcomes. So I'm really must commend the department on their journey of making sure that we now look at pre-primary education as education. And I will be very excited, I'm very excited actually, to see some 20 years from now, to see the effects of the new policy emphasis on education rather than child bonding.
Yeah. When you look into that crystal ball, maybe at least 5 to 10 years from now, what is the future looking like for this class of 2022?
I think it is important again that we must not always emphasize too much matric results. It is the skills that this class and every class learns through their schooling years. So, but as I indicated earlier, what is remarkable about this class and last year's is that they were doing this under COVID conditions. So they now know how to, I think that they had to learn how to work more independently than the previous classes. And as I indicated also, is that they now know how to adjust their learning styles, because every other class has always had a teacher in the classroom helping them with their work. Now these children have had to learn how to ask their teacher questions when they interacted with their teacher on a technological platform or when they did manage to go back into schools. So I really think that I'm very excited to see the life skills that they've learned and how we're going to benefit from adults who are thoughtful, flexible, and adaptable.
Yeah. So I'll tell you why I was asking that question, and I'm sure you already know, because you and I, throughout the years, have been having the same kind of conversation around what happens post-school as they also get to tertiary, and their odds of being employed. Now, they are, of course, contending with a whole different kind of world where even now we are not guaranteed energy, at least for the next 18 months or so. Others are saying it will be over by then. But, you know, it's a very tough economy that they would be getting into having finished their matric results. Have we prepared them adequately enough, you think, to be able to navigate that kind of environment?
I really do think that we have, but I really want to talk to them directly here. You know, it is really important now that they're out of university, out of high school, where there's greater supervision, that they focus on their studies and really do not take shortcuts. What is really, really important for you to understand, a good mind, good analytical skills is what is going to make you employable. And do not underrate struggling through your degree, getting on the other side, because that is going to make sure that you're going to be employable. The other problem that we're facing now, Thabo, which is important for us to remember, in the 21st century, we actually do not know what the jobs are going to be. The only way that you're going to be able to prepare for the future is to go out and get a good education, because really those jobs are yet to be determined. We're also seeing very much huge developments in artificial intelligence. So now it's going to be those skills of empathy, analytical skills, and being able to take one skill in one context and applying it in another context and being problem solving. That is going to differentiate you and make you employable. But merely cramming and thinking that now I've got matric, that's not the end. Go out, go and get a rigorous postgraduate qualification, and that is what will make you adaptable. Because also the good thing about the world at the moment is that people who are skilled do not struggle to find work around the world. And that is what I would say to this class.
Looking at those numbers, I mean, 89% of them or so are able to study for a degree. In other words, they've achieved their bachelor's degree pass. 7.5% qualified for entry at a diploma level, and 1.5% can study at the higher certificate level. Do you think that whole chunk you would advise them to say go for that degree, or would you want them to look maybe even at even though you've got the ability to study a degree, but look at the other more technical disciplines that you could possibly pursue?
Well, that's a very difficult question because you're talking to a humanities graduate here. What I must say to you is this. It really is important for you to get a degree that challenges you or a qualification that challenges you. And I have to confess to you, and when I talk about adaptability and technology, so we at Isasa, our information technology person has an English degree. Did not study computer science, but English degree. But I'm not saying that you mustn't study computer science. Find something that you're passionate about. Do the most challenging degree or qualification, and that is what is going to stand you in good stead. Yes, but we must not, that we do need technical skills in our country, but do not underrate humanities degrees. It is the rigor of the course that you are pursuing that is going to make a difference in the world.
Let's talk the politics a little bit because they always come up. I mean, one of the politics is already as we are talking now, it's a clear divide between IEB students and those who are on the National Senior Certificate. One group receiving their results earlier, the other group receiving them later. There is still a call. Previously he was the MEC for Education, he is now Premier, to say he wants one examination board. You still see the benefit of having two?
I'm glad that you're raising the politics. Mm-hmm. So let's be clear here. We need to also agree on the facts. Every student in South Africa gets one certificate. And that certificate is offered by Umalusi, the qualification agents, the examination body in our country. The IEB, Sakai, or any other independent examination body, including the state, have all of their exams monitored, standardized, and approved by Umalusi. So I always get very confused when politicians want to confuse the public by saying we've got two systems. We may have different examination bodies, but we have only one examining authority in this country, and it's Umalusi that does a brilliant job of monitoring, standardizing, and ensuring that the standards of our exams are of a good standard. They also do international benchmarking, and tomorrow Umalusi is going to tell us what happened with 900,000 students in an exam. Today they've told us what happened with a mere 13,000. But all of them are under the authority of Umalusi. And it really saddens me that politicians are undermining Umalusi by saying it does not have the authority that it actually does have.
Talking of Umalusi, what do you make of the challenges that they reported to have faced, some cheating, that in some instances also involved educators, and there's also been some lapses, I suppose, in the system where a question in mathematics, I think it was paper 2, went out that was unanswerable?
Look, the point is that it is a very, very complex running, as I've indicated. So Umalusi, so we've said that tomorrow they are releasing the results of the ministers releasing the results of 900,000 students and the IEB of 13,000. So they basically dealt with 1 million exams this year, approximately that. Problems will occur, but that's okay. Even though the problems will occur, it is whether we know where the problems are and what must be done about them. And Umalusi has shown in the past that it can identify where there is leaks, where there's cheating, and they do have proper systems of making sure that those who do so get caught, suffer the consequences.
Lebogang Montjane, as always, I appreciate your time, and thank you very much for coming on and engaging with us. That's the Executive Director of the Independent Schools Association of Southern Africa.